everybody, I'm Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
Welcome to Worldview Finder episode 42. This is the one.
42 and a half, really.
42.
That's true.
This is the answer to life, the universe, and everything in it.
Yes.
If you're fans of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which Jimmy knows nothing about.
I do not know what that is.
I actually know nothing about it, really.
Oh, I just know.
Except for the sad robot.
42. It's very funny and weird. Now we're going to be checking. So we started the podcast and it didn't record. So,
Let Jimmy check on it. You don't have to turn
So I'm
all
gonna-
the way around.
Every 5 seconds, I'm going to look into that thing. So this week, I'm excited about this episode.
A lot of good stuff.
We're talking about when you wish upon a scar.
A scar. Not a scar. A scar.
Scar. Kanye's controversies. He's saying things.
As usual.
He says a lot of things.
And he gets in trouble for it. And then we're going to try something. We're going to experiment. We're going to play a game at the end. We're going to stay tuned to see what it is, but it may involve carnivores and battering rams.
Whatever that means.
And it also may fail miserably. So let us know in the comments if you liked it, and we might do it more, or just be like, that was...
If you hated it, then that's okay.
We don't have to do it more. It's just...
No, we're going to do it every week.
Goes on our theme this week.
All right, but first... The eclipse.
The eclipse, it just happened.
We survived.
This was a big deal.
Everybody's here. We didn't get raptured. So, so there were people that said that the world was going to end.
That's true.
And they were Christians. And so that's kind of a prophecy. If you're like, hey, the world's going to end, this is happening. Do we stone them like it says to do in the Old Testament?
Oh my goodness, no.
I've been reading through the Old Testament, and they're very serious. Like if you
they really are.
If you say something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen, they take you out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you were leading God's people astray, and like people would benefit off this. So what? I don't know. Like, what do you say to those people? Like, if they're a pastor, you're out.
Stop it.
Like false
Get
teachers.
some help.
Yeah, you're a false teacher. Get out of the pulpit. You shouldn't be up there. I really would. I would if
You got really angry really fast.
Jeez. Chris is taking this very seriously.
No, because
I mean, yeah, you should not be.
you are a shepherd
leading
of God's people, and
Yeah.
if you are a pastor and you're saying these things, and people are flipping out about it,
Yeah.
like genuinely in fear of this is the end and all this stuff. Or you're profiting off of it, like, oh, give us money because it's going to be
Profiting.
Profiting.
Yeah,
Hey.
When there's false teachers involved, I do not like that
Have
because
you heard that song, False Teachers?
no.
False teachers. It like calls out a
We're
bunch
getting
of people.
copyrighted.
Did it say people's names on it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh man,
List them off.
now I gotta hear the song.
Yeah, I gotta show it to you.
So that was a thing that I was thinking about before was, with the eclipse, people thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
But it was also, I mean, over the years, plenty of people had said, oh, this time, this date is going to be the end of the world for X, Y, Z reasons.
Yeah.
And up to this point, everyone's been wrong.
Yeah.
Right, because the day and the hour aren't known. And so if they
Yeah,
say,
I mean, how do people just not see that verse?
it's going to happen.
Or they forget it.
Then, well, they're saying like back then it wasn't known, but now we know stuff because there's prophecies in Revelation that talk about days and times and all whatever. So
No.
nobody knows. Not even Jesus himself knew, and he was God.
Which is interesting.
yeah, you're like what? But that was in his earthly. He had limitations. He wasn't.
But he was fully God and fully man.
Yeah, but he also had limitations.
So he didn't know everything at all times?
No.
So he had like a God switch and just like turned it off?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
heard it
that
here
settles
first.
that.
Okay. Oh, all right.
All right. So Jimmy, you
Sounds
go.
like a false teacher.
It sounds like a mystery to me.
yeah. So you stayed home, right?
Yeah, so I was at home and because Malia worked and they actually closed down most of the places in the mall and like everyone that worked at restaurants and stuff went outside to watch the eclipse. So I didn't actually have glasses, but I know.
He peeked through his
He's
fingers.
blind now.
Well, I'm not actually legally blind. I looked at it and because people were making like a big deal about it, like, oh, if you don't have glasses, then
No, because you're
gonna die.
Your retinas can get sunburned. I learned that.
Oh.
So your eyes can
Yeah.
get sunburned
What if
and
you-
it has like black splotches on it.
what if you have sunblock on?
Yeah, if you put sunblock in your eyes.
Then you're not going to see for other reasons.
Yeah, so I didn't really look at it. Well, the other thing was, so when I was looking up in the sky, because obviously the moon's like in front of the sun, but it was like 3 minutes before, I'm like, where's the moon? Like, it's not even like close to the sun.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was a little confused, and there's some controversy behind that themselves. Was it actually the moon? Was it something else?
Because you can't see the moon.
That's no moon.
That's a death
It
ball.
was the Death Star.
Yeah. So, but I watched during the actual
Force.
totality where you could look, and that was pretty cool. So, and then I had my dogs outside, and they said don't even have your pets outside because apparently the pets would go blind.
See, that's stupid because you're not like going to the woods and be like, oh, hey, deer, don't look up. You're about to go blind. Like,
Hey, well, I was also selling
Or
pet
like a
eclipse
doctor could be like,
glasses.
wait a minute, it's kind of darker out here. Let me look at the sun.
Well, that's why they have eclipse glasses for your pets. They have like little ones you can put on there.
Oh my goodness, they're just. This whole episode is about
I
profiting.
did see a Twitter thing.
profiting.
A guy
off
caught a
of
fish
stupidity.
and he was holding up looking at the sun and he had eclipse glasses on it.
on the fish.
Yeah, so he's holding the fish up so he could see the eclipse and put glasses on it.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah, so the eclipse, it was great. But yeah, I mean, the world didn't end, but a lot of people thought it might have. So it's an interesting idea.
And Adrian, you and I went to your church parking lot and watched it with our families. And
did.
I mean, it's a cool experience. And here in the Ville, we got to watch what was called a solar prominence. So if
Yeah.
you've seen pictures, you can go look at pictures of it. It was only in this area, I heard. So there's like a red dot when we were looking at it, and people were like, "What is that?" But
it
if
looked
you,
like a little slice of pizza was taken out of it.
yeah, but
Oh.
Adrian's hungry.
So I'm so hungry. It's lunchtime.
But yeah, so you can look at pictures and it's really cool. It's like this red, like you can actually see through it. It looks like a little hook.
What
or
is
something.
it?
Solar prominence.
Solar,
Oh.
like a flare, like a.
Glad we figured that
You know,
out.
when the sun is when you see pictures of the sun, it has all those like flames.
Yeah, the flares.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
so
that.
it was that, but since it was during the eclipse, it appeared red to us and all that stuff. So
Look at that.
Yeah, but so check out the solar prominence. But any thoughts on the eclipse? Anything? that you took
No,
away
we had
from it?
had one before, but it wasn't totality. I had never seen a totality one, and so I wasn't like I was like, this is gonna be cool, but nothing really prepared me for seeing the ring of like just seeing something in the sky, like in the universe out there so far away, like that was I was just like, oh, this lived up to the hype. It was kind of the
moment.
first moment of that like actually lived up to the hype or exceeded my
Really?
expectations after being like, I'm looking forward to something, because I really was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But then when it happened, I was expecting to have that feeling of like, after Christmas, you're like let down. Like it wasn't as
Jesus'
perfect.
birthday.
Yeah.
I didn't get enough presents.
Yeah, you're just like, you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's over
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But I was just like, that was really cool.
And it was like this collective moment because there were a lot of people in the parking lot. There was a lot of people.
Yeah, all around the neighborhood, everyone was out either on their sidewalk or whatever. They were just looking up all at the same time.
My friend was like, in his neighborhood, he's like, I just heard people gasping. They're like, like it was just this
Yeah.
cool.
People started clapping in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then they shot
Like,
fireworks off.
cheering. I thought about that.
But so this is what's cool because it's everybody looking up to the heavens at the same time and just having this shared experience, and just the way God designed the universe for that to happen, but also like the way that the moon can do that to the sun, like our light source and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And we talked about like, 1,000 years ago or whatever, when they didn't know this was happening, like you thought it was going to end, man.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
You see
People
that?
still think it's going to end,
That's
but,
true.
but it's like,
I just the thought. It's like I hate the fact that it's like the whole fate of the universe and the history of our entire world hinges on like Evansville, Indiana's getting covered up by the moon. It's
Yes.
like,
well, that was one of the memes going around because it's like these eclipses happen every 18 months or something, and then it's like
it's just not here.
yeah,
like,
it says, but when it happens in America, that's when the world's going to end.
Right.
It's like hashtag America. It's
Yeah.
like
Now
we
it's
think it's
for
all
real.
about
we get
us.
so
Yeah.
self-centered.
Well, but it also 7 years ago it did get formed. Because 7 years ago it went one way, and now 7 years later it's going another way. So the significance of sevens, like I see why people started making
It
connections.
also crossed like 6 or 9 towns named Nineveh.
Nineveh, yeah, and all this
Rapture.
stuff, and then Exodus 4:8. It happened on 4:8, and it's like you missed the first sign, but the second sign will be.
I'm a believer now.
Oh, that guy was crazy.
I've been convinced.
But so I want to get into our first topic. We're going to talk about when you wish upon a scar, because I saw the movie Wish this week. It's on Disney Plus. It's their latest animated film, and didn't do well, but I enjoyed it. But one of the things is like it's talking about like looking out at the skies and the heavens and like wishing on a star, but it's like, again, it's this, we look up to the heavens because there's something majestic about it. There's something almost, supernatural, something magical about like feeling insignificant and feeling like this is a huge thing. Because you said one of your friends was like, I just felt insignificant in that.
Yeah, I felt really small in that moment.
Yeah, because it's like this giant stuff is happening and like
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and so it's like looking beyond yourself to something greater. And so for those that don't believe, I think there's even this yearning inside of people like, is this the end? Is this something like this is something significant? And if you don't have God to tie that to, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know what that significant thing is. And I think Wish tries to answer that question because we talk about worldview. This is where we stopped last time.
This was where we ended last time.
So, but when we talk about worldview, that's one of the big questions of worldview. Like, how did we get here, and what is our purpose? And so when you're watching things, ask that question. Like, how do they answer that question? So Wish premise is. There's this king, and he was, I forget what happened. Like he was burnt by something, like hurt, like injured, or not like physically injured, but like there was something that happened, and he's like, I'm going to learn how to do this magic so that I can control and help people's wishes come true. Because there was something I don't remember.
Some crazy backstory.
Something, yeah. And it's probably in song. And now, for some reason, when they sing songs that move the plot along, I can't understand what they're saying. But so he formed this kingdom where he was going to help people to be happy all the time and give. So people come to the king and they tell him their wish. Mm-hmm. But the caveat is that he takes their wish to protect it, but they don't remember what it is. So it's like almost like a piece of them, like their dreams, their hopes, their desire is kind of taken away from them. And his thought is like, I'm going to protect these wishes because these are important things. And so I'm going to protect them for these people. But at the same time, he will, like ones that he can, he'll grant their wish. He could grant all of them if he wanted to, but there's certain ones that he's like, I don't know. They want to rise up and do this, like be a leader or have something significant happen in their life. And so he's like, I don't want that to take away from what we've built here. So if they rise up and take people away or like try to take over what I'm doing.
That's a lot of responsibility on him.
Yeah. And so
he's playing God.
Yes.
Really.
So he'll grant people's wishes. But yeah, so people didn't, I don't think, really realize like he was doing that with the wishes. Because you think that your wish can get granted. He's like, no, there's some that I'm never going to grant. And they're like, oh, well, we didn't know that. And so so the girl in it, I don't even know her name. So
he paid a lot of attention.
Is it his daughter?
No.
She's just some random girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to try to work for him. And so she gets there and is like, her grandpa's turning 100 or something. And so he had his wish and she's like, or his 90th birthday or something. And so she's like, oh, you could grant his wishes. And he's like, oh, usually it takes people a week or two or a couple months for them to ask for their wish. And you're asking like, you're not even have the job yet. Cause she was going to help stuff. And she's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And it's like, she just asked for this. And so, but the grandpa doesn't remember the wish. And then one of her friends who like just turned 18. So when you turn 18, you give your wish or whatever. And so, but like he was sad and they're like, why are you sad? He's like, I don't know. I just feel like part of me is missing, but he doesn't know what it is because he gave that away to the king or whatever. And so, but
yeah, don't you lose your drive to do stuff?
Well, yeah. So that's
depends
the thing.
what your wish was.
So, but you still have hope that your wish will get answered.
But you forgot what it was.
Yeah, and so then when it gets answered, like, oh, that's great. Like it's this.
So your hope is in the wrong thing.
Yeah. So your hope is that your wish will get answered, and not what your wish and your drive and your desire is. And so, but her grandpa's wish, like he wanted to he wanted to write a song that would help inspire the next generation and stuff. And
I thought it was just going to be like, oh, just let me live for at least a couple more months. You said he turned like 100.
Yeah, he was like 90 or 100. So, so the main song was "You're a Star," and so I want to read some of the lyrics for this.
You could sing it a little bit. That would help.
The worldview is strong in this one.
That's true. Yeah. Have you ever wondered why you look up to the sky for answers, or why flowers in the wind are effortless and eloquent dancers? What forms the rings in the trees turns a pine from a seed? What's passed down generationally to you and to me? And why our eyes all look like microscopic galaxies? Have you ever wondered why you look up to the sky for answers? Well, you don't have to look too hard. We're here all for your question marks. If you're trying to figure out just who you are, don't look far. In the sky and in your front yard, in your heart and in your scars. If you really want to know just who you are, you're a star. Yes. So, and then it goes on to talk about like stardust and like how we're all stardust, like how like basically the Big Bang happened and we just we're all part of the same stuff. But then it says this, we are our own origin story. If I'm explaining this poorly, well, I'll let the star do it for me. It's all quite revelatory. We are our own origin story. So this is a bit of a spoiler. So the girl makes a wish without telling it to the king. She wishes upon a star.
Wrong answer.
And the star comes and like makes animals sing and do all this stuff. And it's kind of, and they do. I love when Disney references some of their other stuff. Because one of this goat, she's like, oh, I wish I could understand what you say or whatever. And then he's like, I wish for a society where it's all animals and we can wear clothes and do all this stuff. I was like, that's utopia. It was pretty funny to describe that. But we are our own origin story. And so, because it talks about creation and all this stuff, and it's like, why do our eyes look like little galaxies and all this stuff? It's like, because we're just stars. We're just dust. It's almost like there's no.
Is this supposed to be inspiring?
It was supposed to be inspiring. Hey, we're
all connected.
We're all connected. We're all part of the same things. And when the animals were talking and all this stuff, it's even mushrooms started talking and stuff.
Oh,
doing mushrooms.
Where are we getting here?
But so there's all this stuff that's connected, and it's that pantheism where it's we're all one, we're all part of the same thing, and so it's kind of we don't need to fight, we don't need to do all this stuff, but the king started using dark magic and it was bad, so because he wanted to take control of the star and its power. He's like, I can be the most powerful.
So you said this wasn't very inspiring, but do you think to a general audience, especially people that don't necessarily believe what we believe, that this would be an appealing message?
Yes, I do. Yeah, and that's where, again, because worldview stuff, especially like this, because you watch it and you're like, oh, I do have significance, I do have meaning. And if I feel insignificant, I just got to remember, I'm part of this bigger galaxy in this world, we're all connected. It helps you feel
not alone.
Yeah. And so, and a part, but that one line, where it says, what forms the rings in trees turns a pine from a seed. It's okay, there's these things we don't always know, in life. There's these kind of mysteries of we can cut a tree down and tell its age, but why does it get a ring every year? What is it about that? Or what, or pine from a seed. But this is almost biblical concepts, because there is I think it was when Jesus, I don't know, but it's only God that makes it grow. We can plant and water the seed, but it doesn't grow without God's handiwork in it.
Yeah.
And this is saying well, what's passed down generation to you and to me, it's just because we're part of these stars. We're all stardust, and we're all.
Oh yeah, and I think it's kind of two parts. What it kind of talks to is that you have this kind of infinite potential inside of you, which a lot of people find appealing. But then talking about your own origin story, it's also the other concept of not only do you have infinite potential, but then you get to write your own story.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the meaning and that's what the purpose becomes of your life, where you are the main character and you get to basically tell the adventure that you're going to go through.
Okay, so my question then is, that sounds appealing. That sounds nice.
Yep.
So what about that worldview is wrong? Why is it wrong? Or let's play it out. And what's the Bible say about that worldview?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you get into, this is my wish and my dream and the thing that I want to accomplish. So one of the things that the king started doing, because he realized I can take people's wish and take it basically into myself and become more powerful, but it would kill their wish. And so you would see people in his kingdom, when their wish would die, basically, they lost part of who they were. They're oh, I just feel this great sadness. There's grief, there's loss. There's something that part of me is no longer there anymore. And so it's my desires and my dreams are what make me me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's if I do what I want, if I accomplish what I want to do, then I'm somehow greater. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And if I'm not able to do these things, if somebody's holding me back from that, then I'm not a complete person. And so the problem with that worldview is that if we don't always make the best choices for ourselves, we think,
and we don't always get what we want, even if we do follow the best path we think for ourselves.
Yeah. And that's, Proverbs says a man sets his steps before himself and those end in destruction. Apart from God, our plans are ultimately selfish to serve our own purposes. And so I know we've talked about this before, but yes, Jimmy, you can't do good apart from God. No, but I think,
talk about it.
I mean, you can argue about that, but I think part of the problem with us is that we are flawed, and we are.
You can do good for the wrong reasons.
I've done all the right things for all the I've done all the wrong things for all the right reasons.
Yeah,
that's utopia. But yeah, so I think in that we are wanting good for ourselves and for the people around us, but if it's driven by selfish motives, and wisdom starts with the fear of the Lord, if it doesn't start there, then there's going to be flaws to our logic, because the king himself is wanting to do good and build this kingdom of perfection, but it's at the
cost of his tenants.
Yeah, but they think he's doing good for them, and he's like, no, his ultimate goal is to build this great utopia, but in that it's people giving up part of themselves, their goals and desires and dreams to him so that he can take care of them for himself.
Yeah. So we're all inherently flawed. So if somebody's going to make wrong decisions along the way, so it makes more sense for us to have a God to kind of set that moral tone.
Yeah. And so
us.
because if God's not the one setting the moral tone, then we're deciding what's right and what's wrong. And that's because the girl in the story, she's like, well, I think this is right, and so I'm going to do this thing and pursue this dream, and the star comes, and so it's almost like,
it's like, well, who allowed you to set the moral code for the whole world?
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's the other thing
gets
too,
tricky.
is going back to kind of the Stardust thing, is a lot of people don't take the worldview to its logical conclusion that if we are kind of just atoms in motion, then there can't be any basis for objective morality, like an objective right and wrong.
Right.
So then you can't make an argument, well, I think the thing you did was wrong, if you don't have that foundation of someone who has created the right and wrong and created meaning in the universe, then you can't even make that argument.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because if we're all stars, then your goals and dreams are fine. You go pursue your thing. I'll go pursue my thing.
What makes that one guy? He's pursuing his goals and dreams. So
well, and if he's
hurting
taking
somebody else,
exactly, if he's taking advantage of people, you can't be like, well, you shouldn't do that, because in a world like that, there is no should. It's like when you see a lion attacking a gazelle, you're not like, oh, I just think that's not right. He's really tearing that thing apart.
Yeah,
He can't do that, but. Yeah, and I think
that's why it's really important to play that worldview out.
Yeah.
What if everyone applied it to themselves?
It'd be a bad time.
And what would happen?
because if we're all stardust, then it doesn't matter that guy's doing those things. And he's like, well, he's pursuing his dream,
Right.
of taking over the world.
Taking over the world.
It's the same thing we do every night. But I will say this. So stay tuned after the credits if you watch Wish. I did enjoy it, actually. I did like it. It was fun. Some good laughs, things like that. The animation is really bizarre, though.
Really?
Like, I don't know. It's almost like with the cell shading, where it's like there's like the black outline around stuff, like in old.
Oh.
Like in the old Disney movies?
I don't know. There's a game called 13, video game, but it's where there's like a black outline around it, around the characters and stuff. But it looks kind of weird, and I don't know what it was. I've seen there's a short out there that says like, this is why Wish looks bad, and I was like, oh, I haven't watched it yet because I want to see that. But yeah, but it's kind of an odd animation. But at the end, like, stay tuned after the credits, because. It's cool. It's a cool moment of what happens after the credits. So just stick around after that if you watch it. But I mean, there's like content wise, there is some weird dark magic stuff. So if you're worried about that, but it's not. But it does condone, condemn. It doesn't say it's good. Condone is good, I think. Yeah. It says it's bad.
It condemns dark magic.
They do say it's bad and stuff like that. And so. Because he's like, I'm going to become really powerful. But again, he's doing it because he thinks this is what is best. And so, but it's not. But yeah.
All right. Who else does what they think is best?
Mr. Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Or, sorry, Ye, as I think he actually legally changed his name to Ye, so it's not Kanye.
He's back to Ye? Okay.
Yep. So Ye, formerly known as Kanye, was in an interview, and we're still recording, Chris. And he's not gonna let it mess up again. So he was in an interview, and he's gone through this journey of faith, going from very secular rapper, didn't care about Christianity or anything like that, to kind of being the voice of religion, voice of Christianity in that world for a long time. Had an album called Jesus is King, had Sunday services and all this stuff where he seemed like he was all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, his interview with James Corbin, I always say it wrong.
Corden.
Yeah, it was really cool because they did instead of carpool karaoke, it was like airplane karaoke, and he was on. It was like his whole choir was on this plane.
Oh,
his
yeah,
private.
I
I think I did see that actually.
Flying to one of the Sunday services or whatever, and it was a cool conversation. And then the whole choir is like singing with carpool karaoke. It was really cool, but yeah.
Yeah, so he, like I said, he was kind of on this journey, and then if you've kept up with Kanye, you can see his life in a lot of ways has kind of fallen apart, and a lot of different things have gone wrong and things like that. So this was the first time that, and he even kind of went away for a while where he wasn't in the media or anything like that. And then in this interview, they were asking him, it's like, we know you're like, Jesus is king, all this Christian stuff. Like, where are you now? And one of the things that he was talking about, he's like, one of the problems that I have with God is that when all these terrible things were happening in my life, I prayed and asked for God to work in that, to help and for specific answers. And he's like, basically God was silent. God didn't show up. God didn't do anything for me. And he's like, what actually made a difference was when I got up and did the work myself, because God wasn't there for me, essentially. And then one of the statements that a lot of people remember out of the interview, he said, I'm the God of me. So, and he was talking about looking at his life and all the things that he's built. He's like, basically, I can take credit for all this because God's not really done anything for me. I called out to him. I prayed to him. I did all these things for him, and he didn't show up when I needed it the most. So the only one I can count on is myself, and I've been able to build all these things for myself. So I'm the God of me. So it's an interesting concept, and I think it does kind of tie into what we were talking about previously and I think it's also just interesting. How does prayer work? What do we do when God doesn't answer and everything like that?
Yeah, it sounds like he's got the Santa Jesus theology.
Yeah.
This is me. I don't know if that's just always in the top of my head. So what do you mean by Santa Jesus theology?
Is you pray to God for specific things that you want, and then he doesn't give them to you, and you expect him to give them to you.
If you're good enough, he'll give them to you.
Yeah,
if you're bad, you get coal in your stock.
Yeah.
No, but and that's, I mean, a lot of people view God in that Santa way.
Especially like the verse, maybe taken out of context, ask and you shall receive, you expect that.
I wrote that verse down.
Yeah.
Because I want to get into that. Because, ask. So it's Luke 11:9-10. So I say to you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And the one who knocks, the door will be open. So I think, the first part of like, asking you shall receive. No, that's the first part of it. But it's like, seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. So there's actions that we have to take. And this is what's weird.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we are the answer to our prayer.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that, because in James, the book of James, it talks, it's like, if you say to somebody, hey, I see that you're hungry, like, I'll pray for you. I hope you keep warm and well fed. I know you don't have clothes, I don't have food, but I'm praying for you. It's like, no, you have something that you can do in that moment. And so you're like, yes, I'll pray for you, but also like, I can give you a sandwich. Like it's.
Yeah. Or that we've referenced this joke before where the guy is like on the roof and he's praying for help, like God will save him, and like he lets a boat and a helicopter and all that, and he ends up dying, and God's like, well, I sent all these things,
and you just ignore it.
Well, because I think a lot of times there is kind of a spectrum to it, where on one end of the spectrum, where kind of probably Kanye falls now, is where if I need something done, I'll figure out how to do it. And then you have on the complete other end of the spectrum where people are like, well, I just have to pray and believe, and then God will take the rest, where I don't have to do anything. I just sit back and let God handle it.
Well, and it seems like I don't want to. I've gone through this journey myself. So when I say it's a childish theology, I really do mean like not to be like, whatever, but I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. No, but like when my kid asks for, sugar cookies or whatever, like if I am a good parent, like to him, if I'm a good parent that I love him, I'm going to let him eat those cookies. But I'm like, that's not what's best for you right now. Let me reorient you and give you what you need.
But what if your kid's like, my friend's dying over here and you can save them. Can you please save them? And you're like, I don't think so.
Right. That's where it gets hard.
Best for you right now.
That's not what's best. She had it coming.
Yeah.
Golly.
Well, that's the thing. Because with Kanye, it was it's not even things that he's like, I selfishly want. Kind of selfishly want, but things like if you have someone in your family that has a health thing that's going on, or you're just in these terrible situations where you're like, God, I believe that you can get me out of the situation. And it seems like the loving thing to do would be to help me out.
Yeah.
So how could, or if terrible things do happen, you're like, God, how could you allow this to happen when you could have stepped in?
Right.
So I think that's a
suffering conversation.
Yeah, which we've talked about this already.
Yeah.
Check that out. But no, well, I want to get back into the just like asking for things in general.
Yeah.
Because the suffering thing again. There's evil in the world because of the fall, and so because that happens, there are going to be bad things that happen, and God is bringing redemption, and there is going to be a time when Jesus returns and makes everything right, but that's not this time. And so, so I want to address that a little bit, but, so I have a story. There was a guy, we were going to cut down corn stalks for some Halloween thing we were doing, and you had to have machetes to do it. And so we get to the place, and this farmer guy, he's old, and he's like, oh yeah, I got these machetes for you. I was out in my garage. It's full of junk and all this stuff. And he's like, I was just looking for them. I was praying that God would show me where the machetes were, and he did. I'm like, no, you were looking for them. Don't put this on God. And this was a long time ago. And I just remember thinking, I got mad at him.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I mad about this? Why? Because I'm like, it wasn't God that found them. It was you. You found these things. But then as I processed it, I'm like, okay, this guy's looking for these things, but he's also communing with God. He's praying without ceasing. He's just out looking for stuff, having a conversation with God. Like, hey, we got these guys coming over there doing something for their church. Help me find these machetes. And then he found them. But I was like, it wasn't God that helped him find them. Maybe it was. And that's it kind of bothered me that I was angry with this guy. But I think it was a challenge to my faith, because I'm like, do I pray like that? Do I just have mundane conversations with God about help me find my car keys that I lost? It's seemingly insignificant, dumb things that this guy was praying for. I'm like, that's stupid. You shouldn't pray for that. But he actually, what he asked, and he was seeking machetes, knocking at the door. No, but he was putting action behind his prayer. It wasn't just okay, Lord, I'm going to go in the other room and watch TV and just help the machetes to be on the counter when I turn them back around. It was, I'm actually doing something. I'm working out my faith. And that's why I think faith without deeds is dead, as James says, because if we don't put any action behind our own, okay, I'm trusting God to do this thing, but I have to, he's going to work through me to do this thing.
Mm-hmm. So there's a statement I heard, and I'd like to get your guys' point of view on it. So I've heard the statement, work as if it all depends on you, and pray as if it all depends on God.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
What
that was a sign in the bathroom at church. At our church.
Really? Let go and let God.
What was it on the back of the stall? Lord, work this out.
That's so weird.
Oh, that is really weird.
Why is that in the bathroom? That's a weird place to put that.
That's a weird place to put that.
It's the staff-only bathroom.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of? So what do you guys think about that statement? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it?
Yeah. What's the purpose of prayer? Let's talk about that.
Oh, boy.
So would you say that it's a relationship?
Yes.
So that seems kind of shady if you have a relationship with your friend or spouse or whatever, and you're only going to ask for things.
Right.
You want to just continually have this relationship so that you know each other and you can trust each other. I like the story from when they're crossing into the promised land. and they need to go in and they can't.
The Israelites, right?
Yeah, the Israelites crossing into the promised land. Joshua is leading them, and there's the big river again. And just like God parted the seas before, this time it's like high tide, and they have to actually walk out into it.
Before it parts.
Before it parts. And so only until they walk into it, then it parts. And so I like to think of that as like sometimes God's going to just part the sea and let you run through, or other times you have to like walk into it.
Ooh.
And then he will move.
And sometimes he lets you drown.
Yeah, it's that step out of, you have to like step out in faith.
But the work as if it all depends on you.
Yeah.
No. I don't like that.
Well, because with your story, the guy was still actively searching for them as if there wasn't God. Like, I still need to try to find this, do to the best of my ability what I can to try to do what I'm trying to do. But then also praying as if it all depends on God. So trusting that he is in control and he can do anything.
But if you're working, if it all depends on you, then you're not relying on the Lord.
Yeah, I don't think it definitely wasn't that exact quote. That was
a good bumper sticker, though.
Stall.
I'm not going to that church.
Well, again, it was like I heard a sermon on something like this, where it's like you're asking God to show up, but are you doing things to where you need God to show up? So it's like, God, we need 50 buses or something. I don't know.
That's a weird request.
That is a really weird request.
Oh, Lord, just bring us 50 buses.
No, it's just like, I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking about missionaries, or they like need some big
so many
thing.
buses.
And it's like, it's totally out of their ability, but they're going to continue to like ask people. They're going to seek it out, and like seek out the answer, but they know that it's like what they call a God-sized request or whatever. So that, but they're doing the work, and then they're also seeing God deliver in that.
Well, yeah, and it's like, back to your kind of analogy of being stuck on the roof, God answering a prayer may not be in a supernatural way. It's like if you pray for healing, the answer to that prayer very likely will come through medicine or come through a doctor. Yeah.
Like God, it's like God still performs the miracle of like helping the blind see every day, because he's
Mr. Beast did that for 1,000 people.
Yeah. And that's, maybe, I mean, I think often like people are the answer to prayers. Like that's God uses us and works through us to
that song. It's like, I prayed, God, why didn't you do it? Why aren't you doing anything? He says, I created you.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know that song.
Well,
it's like Matthew West.
It's not like Caleb. Yeah. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about like, why is there always these starving children? And like, God, what are you doing about this? And he's like, I created you. And that's what I'm doing about this.
Yeah, and that's what like I think the ask, seek, and knock thing is like everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be open. And so it's like there are barriers sometimes, but it's so that we step out in faith and trust God to do these things. But it's Him working through it. It's not just us sitting back idly like, fix this, God, do this. Like,
I will say it's really important to kind of establish these things before the hard stuff happens. Because you've got to establish this foundation, figure out what you believe now, and like do all of that, like continually stay in the Word and use prayer for a relationship. Because when the hard stuff does happen, like I talk like I have all this figured out, but
she does.
or like that I have wisdom in this area, but I have some areas or like seasons of my life where prayers weren't answered, or I just had a lot of questions, and they were actually eventually answered. But I just have like hard seasons where I'm like, I don't know if I can believe that God answers prayers, or that like, what's the purpose of prayer if he's not going to respond to this?
Right.
And so I think it was the whole like mystery and faith aspect that had to pull me through that season.
Well, and part of prayer sometimes, because I think a lot of times that pray without ceasing verse, it's like, oh, we're supposed to pray all the time, pray. But that, like, if a relationship, like if I just talk all the time, like, okay, I'm not ever listening. And so I think part of praying without ceasing is stopping and listening to the Lord. And a lot of times he speaks through his word to us and things like that. And so it's like, okay, if I don't ever stop and listen, I'm not going to know what those next steps are. And it may feel like God is absent, like in Kanye's case of like, okay, well, I've asked for all these things and nothing's happening. Well, okay, but then you started working, Kanye. Then you started doing these things, and God like opened up all these doors for you to do these things. And then you didn't give him credit because you're like, oh, I'm giving myself credit. Like, well, that's kind of selfish because you're like, well, I did this thing. Well, yeah, but who gave you the ability to do that? Who gave you legs so you could walk? Your voice, your creativity, your imagination, all that. Like, who gave you all those things so that you could do this and you could reach a lot of people? And you kind of, like when he went through his Christian faith, it was kind of an interesting, it was an interesting phenomenon because, I mean, it was around Thanksgiving. We went to our brother's house and he was playing the Jesus music in the house. We're like, oh, that's cool. She normally doesn't. So it was like oh,
it's catchy now.
Yeah, cool. God, Christianity is cool again. So I think there's, when we pray, we have to also look, okay, what has God equipped me with to help do these things that I'm looking for? Now, when you get into the suffering thing, like that gets a little bit different, but it's like, if it's just normal everyday stuff that I like, or jobs or things like that, like, if you're just praying that this job would fall in your lap, like, okay, but are you sending out applications? Are you doing these things to do that? Or if you're like, okay, I want to learn this skill. Okay, God, help me to be a great author all of a sudden. Like, no, it's going to take me writing and doing these things to actually hone my craft and all this stuff. And so, I don't know.
That's good.
That's what I look at. Speaking of honing crafts, I just realized I didn't come up with a Florida foible for today.
Hey, that's okay. We have a game.
We'll do a game
instead of Florida foible. We have a game. So assuming this all works, you should be able to see anything. And then for all you people listening, we'll do our best to paint word pictures so that you can.
All right, give us a quick rundown.
Sure. No, well, first, it was one of these things that was like I noticed a pattern. And so sometimes when like multiple things come out at the same time and you see a pattern, you're like, is there a worldview here? Like, why?
Oh, yeah, we probably should talk about that.
What?
The worldview.
Oh.
Of what? Of Wikipedia?
Of the patterns.
No, of like why is this appealing right now into our culture? And I actually think you touched on it when we were talking about Wish, is that people like to feel connected. And so we're talking about this kind of Wikipedia phenomenon. So there's a Wikipedia game that came out. It's called the Wikipedia Game.com.
Oh.
Yeah, WikipediaGame.com. And then there's also a podcast that just came out called Wiki Hole. And it is where...
I don't say that.
In reference to going down the Wikipedia rabbit hole. Oh my goodness, you guys. So
now Sunny, my daughter's gonna ask so many questions. Why'd you beep her that?
Sunny also now thinks I'm a big swearer because you beat me all the time.
Oh man,
I'm getting out of hand.
That's great.
So the podcast Wiki Hole is where they have comedians come and they start with a topic, and then it's a trivia game. So the host, it's Darcy Carden. She's a she was
I love Darcy.
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
She was in a good place. She's a comedian, but she invites
now she's in a bad place. She's hosting a podcast called Wiki Hole.
A good place, a TV show.
She's in a better place now.
She is like the trivia host, and so she'll start with the subject. So the episode I listened to, she started with Tetris. So she gets a question from the page, and then the answer is like a blue link, and so she clicks on that and then gets another trivia question, and she makes a way down like the rabbit hole, and she connects.
Interesting.
She connects these two unseemingly connected things.
But do they use the Wiki game to do that, or is it just
no?
her? Okay.
It's just she makes it up herself.
Okay, and this is based off of
producers.
The game is based off of that idea.
Off of that idea, but not. I don't think they're related in any way. That's why I thought it's like, but I think it is. It's like we like to feel connected. And there was that whole thing of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. That was a millennial phenomenon. So if you're younger,
you don't know what that is
this actor, Kevin Bacon. It's like everyone. All other actors are connected to Kevin Bacon in 6 degrees. But I think it's gone.
That means 6, like you can get from Kevin Bacon to another actor.
You can name any actor, Tom Cruise, and then it takes at least 6.
Like 6 different movies.
Or no more than 6 connections. But now I think...
You understand that, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Okay.
So now I really think, especially now this Wikipedia game is proving it, I almost feel like it could be like we have 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon.
No, so because
Like,
I thought that was the thing.
everything is connected.
Well, yeah, because it was like, or you know someone who knows someone who knows someone to the 6th degree that knows everyone in the world. So
Yeah.
that could be very possible where we are so connected.
Yeah, the world is getting smaller and smaller.
Because we're all stars. We're all connected.
We're
Yeah.
all stars.
Thanks to social media, I feel like. So I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun thing about.
We'll try it out.
And so we're going to play the game.
Today's wiki race is carnivore to battering ram.
So we'll figure out how to
so
play
I click
as
on
we go.
carnivore.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to watch the screen. Okay. So
Ooh, a lion that I was
to
talking
get to
about.
battering ram. So now if you're just listening, we've pulled up the Wikipedia page for carnivore.
There's a lion eating.
Oh yeah.
They're
gazelle.
Obligate carnivores.
So how would you get to battering ram? Like that's a weapon?
First of all, what is a battering ram?
You know what a battering ram is?
No.
It's where you like bust down a door with like that big
Oh, okay.
That big.
thing.
So
Like in Beauty and the Beast. Is that going to do anything? In Beauty and the Beast, they use a battering ram to open the gates.
Never saw it. Next question. So basically, you're trying to find different words on this page
Yeah.
to get us to that thing.
Yes.
Hypocarnivore.
What about fruits? So that'd be a good one to.
digest.
Does that get us any closer?
There's something at the top that seemed like it might get us there.
What?
Fat. No, wait, where was it?
Energy?
Hunting.
Hunting, yeah, do hunting.
Hunting?
Because you can get to like.
Guns. Oh man, this is getting very graphic. A lot of blood.
Oh,
Wow,
lot
yeah,
of
there's
polar
a
bears.
polar
Bear.
bear just eating.
it's eating a bearded seal.
Ew, and it's like ripped up.
All right, so
Oh, look,
claws, jaws,
alarm
invertebrate,
calls.
ambush. Oh, whoa. Okay.
Oh, yeah, ambush. You think?
Ambush? Oh, you think? Okay, ambush. Yeah, because you're. Ooh, all right.
Maybe it's like meaning.
Oh,
Ambush
this is
predator.
ambush predator. Wait, I just want to know
Oh
ambush.
no.
Oh, well,
we're-
let's keep going.
Frogfishes. Uh-oh.
Aggressive
Pursuit.
mimicry.
Cephalopods.
If you're listening right now, we're just saying random.
Okay, keep going. Keep
We're
going.
scrolling down.
We're scrolling
may
down
not
here.
work.
Trapdoor spiders. Let's see.
Traps. Oh, look on this side. Can you? Oh, yeah, traps.
Oh, you can't look on the side apparently.
You can't? Okay.
I don't know how
Yeah,
it works.
any blue link you can click on.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
Can we
even-
just Google battering rams and that count?
No, you have to go through.
Traps
I
are-
think we're already on like a path of no.
Hey, there's the Wikipedia hole that we were
You
talking
think so?
about.
We're down. Infrared pit vipers. Oh.
So we're on the ambush predator Wikipedia page at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not. Mulga dragon.
There's not a battering ram in sight
You can
for some
even
reason.
look at references,
Oh, references.
and like links, all that kind of
Deep
stuff.
sea
Oh,
extremes.
foraging behavior. All right. I don't see anything battering
I
ram.
don't
So do we
know.
need to go back a page?
Is that an option?
I mean, I guess so.
Oh, can you not go back?
Yeah, you just did.
Well, am I not supposed to? I don't know how
I
you
don't
Cheated
know.
the system.
Wait,
I don't
why
know how
wouldn't
this
you, like if you
works.
went down the wrong?
I think we're winning.
We're doing good, everybody. So what do we need to look for? Scavengers?
Battering rams.
I don't know if we're going through the right
You don't know.
channels.
But
I don't know.
In
I don't,
theory, it should
like,
be all be connected, just like
It
Kevin
should.
Bacon.
I mean,
right?
it is somewhere.
So do we know how many things, like how many clicks?
Good fit to the behavior. What's that?
No
Oh.
more than 100.
Does it tell
keep
you?
going.
Yeah. Do you know? Like, does it tell you ahead of time?
You
Like,
can get there multiple ways. I think it's just like how it's how many it takes you.
Yeah, because it
There's
says
like a least amount.
show yesterday's fastest route or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
you can find it. pretty
Handling.
fast.
what if somebody found a faster route?
People handle battering rams.
Spines on the back.
That's not going to do anything.
What?
I'm beginning to not be hopeful anymore.
I'm the same.
What? I think this is great. Killer whales.
we should play this every week.
I think we should
I feel like we need to go backwards. Like,
go back again.
Yeah, go back again. Start back at battering rams.
no, I meant like.
We should rethink our
What
lives.
should get you to battering ram? Like
Well, that was the thing.
tactics of.
Yeah, but we were on carnivore. I don't think it's got tactics on there.
Aggressive mimicry.
That was one of my favorite. I did see aggressive mimicry. You mimic someone aggressively.
We're going that way. There it
Let's
is.
start
No,
clicking
these are
stuff.
all like organisms and stuff.
Humpback anglerfish. I love a good defensive mimicry.
Oh, yeah, not to be confused with aggressive mimicry.
But aggressive mimicry, you're going after it. So they're
Yes.
wolves in sheep clothing. Oh, I thought I saw the word battering ram, but it says Batesian.
Which is almost battering ram.
Luring prey.
Let's go to the Wikipedia page of words that start with B.
The assassin bug. See, now we're getting somewhere.
Because we were at carnivore, we're still in animals.
Carnivorous plants.
Yeah, I think we need to get away from.
Okay, Adrian, we'll get away from it.
And if you're still listening, apparently you have nothing better to do.
You know, should we call this fail already?
I'm in the playing dead. Quills. Assuming they're toxic.
Okay, keep going down. We're at the very. Are we at the front again?
I don't know where
No,
we're
we're
on
co-evolution.
We're at pro.
co-evolution.
No.
These are big pages.
They are.
Yeah, that's
It's
where
a whole
we gotta
Wikipedia.
go.
I like it when you call me big pages. All right. Trophic transfer. I got some of that.
So Wikipedia, you can actually edit articles. Can we just put battering rams on carnivores?
We're going to edit it and then put it in there.
Yellowstone National Park. Is that
A lot of battering rams there.
That's
there-
where... Ooh, beavers. Because beavers, they make...
they don't make battering
They do.
rams.
They make those sticks that... Like, they chop down trees.
tree bark.
And, yeah. So...
Oh wait, what about the etymology of the word?
Overhunting.
Overhunting. Look, beavers can also recognize their kin by their anal gland secretions.
Get out of here! Nobody's listening anymore.
Yeah, they are.
Oh
man.
my
The
gosh.
evolution of the beaver, battering rams. They evolved from battering rams.
This will be after the credits, so
Their tail
for all the
is
fans.
For all the fans. We're gonna find this. Webbing toes. Is this one of those things that you're getting really mad because you're like, I want to scroll and click these things, and I'm just not doing
Yeah.
what you're telling me to do?
Correct.
You're
Status.
going, I
wanna
can't read anything.
Well, I'm
You're just scrolling words.
I'm looking for blue words.
Oh, suburbs, golf courses.
Yeah, see, we're getting close.
That's closer than an animal.
Yeah.
Cattails, rushes. Yeah, so we've got to see, because I'm looking for logs. So, if,
Are you?
like, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because they're building, so a beaver dam.
Uh-huh.
So should we click on that?
Building
Burrows,
Oh,
materials.
beavers can cut down. Maybe cut
cut down trees.
Let's do cut down. YOLO.
Oh, felling.
Yes.
Oh,
Here we go.
methods,
Here we go.
Hand felling. The feller buncher. A feller buncher
Types
is
of-
a motorized vehicle
Types,
with an
types
attachment.
of cut. Types of cut.
Where?
I
Keep
think
going.
Okay.
there's no blue links.
Oh, there's no blue links. But if you go
man.
down to the
Boom corridor experiment. I don't know what that means.
okay, fall time. Okay, references. Let's look at references.
Telescopic.
So boom corridor.
No, go down to the bottom.
Okay, I was looking at
Let's
see.
reference
Chainsaws.
number 5.
Okay.
Felling, limbing, and bucking trees. Recommended motor manual for felling trees.
Forestry, lumberjack sports.
Where's that?
At the very bottom, like the blue lines.
Oh, we can do that?
Yeah,
Lumberjack sports.
Oh, yeah. The old battering
Battering
ram
ram.
lumberjack sport.
it could be.
Yep.
If you're gonna hold big logs or something.
Popular culture, folklore.
I think we're getting real close here.
I too. Paul Bunyan, he was a battering rammer.
He was an axe chopper.
Oh look at these films.
Jippo loggers.
Look at these films.
Okay, there's
Is,
come
is
and
there
get
gonna
it.
be one?
Yeah. Oh, Ferngully, the first battering ram.
Oh, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Gravity Falls.
The cartoon Pink Panther songs. Go and get your battering ram, young
Log
man.
boom.
What?
Log boom.
Where's log boom?
It's basically another word for battering ram.
A log boom was buried or placed in a
No,
river.
okay.
Oh, okay, to collect them.
What's log scaling?
Log driving. Wait, arborist.
no,
Arborist.
that's arborist.
It's a tree surgeon.
No.
So my dad was.
What's the log? Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Was that right?
All the
rain?
colors of the wind. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
No, I think
There's something in here I'm not going to read, but it's really funny.
I saw that too.
I missed that one.
Oh, man.
You saw it.
Okay,
we'll
well,
scroll
hold
past.
on.
What?
Do you think we need to go to movies and try to connect to Beauty and the Beast?
Definitely.
Well, they're not going to have a battering ram in movies. Okay, wait, is it in there? Movies. Wacky Races, Gravity Falls, Fargo.
I can't think of anything else that has battering rams.
What about
Lord
Ferngully?
Lord of the Rings. Battering rams in that.
Oh, that uses that big. Oh yeah, can we get there?
Yeah, right from Ferngully.
Wild Geese Calling. That was
Oh yeah,
That was a sequel
the
to
1941 special.
The Big Trees.
Is that the one by John Bram?
What? Yes, it is.
Yeah, are any of those movies have battering rams?
Ferngully.
Seven Brides for
They clog it up with a battering ram, don't they?
Did it? What?
Well, at the end, they clog up their machines
Oh, well, let's see. Look in the plot.
with battering rams. There's no blue themes, battering rams.
Oh my gosh, or this is.
We're getting there. Walt Disney.
Robin Williams.
What?
Or just Disney movies.
There's Little Mermaid. We can close. We can do Walt Disney Studios.
Perfect.
Okay.
And get
Beauty
to
and the Beast.
If we get to Beauty and the Beast, and it has like, hey, remember that part where there's a battering ram? I will.
In the Wikipedia.
We'll beat this thing down. All right, Walt Disney. All right, where's their film production?
History.
That where we jump
yeah.
to?
Or
Animation.
Animation. There we go.
All right, television animation. What?
The Muppet Studio. Do they use a
The
battering ram?
Muppetverse.
We're back to the Muppetverse. We brought it back around.
Everything comes back to the Muppetverse.
Wait. So
We
Disney.
need a list of.
Disney Toon. Where's their animation studio? Blue Sky? No, Marvel.
When was it released? There's history on the other side. On the left side.
Oh, 90s?
90s.
All right.
Whoa, this is too
Buena Vista,
hard.
Spyglass.
No, they're not listing movies.
Oh, honk.
Yeah, where's the list of their movies? Why can't I scroll in this area? Okay. Animation, live action, film production, television distribution.
Live action. They had a Beauty and Beast live action, right?
Yeah, but
Am I allowed to search the page? Is that allowed?
Sure.
you
Command F it.
can. Yeah.
We're not supposed to?
I
You
mean,
do it,
it
YOLO.
doesn't say.
Okay. Beauty.
Ah, there it is.
we
Beauty
go.
and the Beast.
There we go.
Their shows include Beauty and the Beast featuring.
Oh,
just in case.
that's to the theatrical production. You don't want that one.
Yeah, but you can get from that to probably the other.
Okay, yeah. It'll just take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 15 minutes into this.
Okay, there it is. The
take-
animated feature of the same name.
See,
Where do you
exactly.
see
That one right there. You were just
She
on
said
it.
it'll take forever. It's literally in the first
1991, we were right on
There
that.
we
Okay.
go. Okay.
All right, now we got to find.
sentence. Yeah, Command F for battery.
I'm doing it.
Plot.
I'm finding this battering
See? Lumiere the candelabra. The candelabra.
And then they like,
Villagers arrive at the Beast Castle.
he just be spares like, wait, how'd they get in the castle?
Where's Command F?
I'm finding battering.
Battering rams.
Battering.
Oh no, there's no battering rams.
Oh, man.
Who would have thought?
Okay, well, we're just.
All right, we lost.
We lost.
All right,
Wait, Kevin Kline.
this is not making it in the
Oh, wait,
final cut.
are any of these people in Lord of the Rings? Oh, Emma Thompson?
Luke Evans.
He was not.
He was in Hobbit.
Oh. J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Oh, man.
Oh,
How
my
did you really know
gosh.
he was in there?
Peter Jackson's. Peter Jackson.
Where?
Peter Jackson.
Oh, I'm getting there. I'm so excited.
Battering rams.
There's no way.
We're doing it. We are doing it. Peter Jackson. Which one was it? It was the okay, Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was the second one.
No.
Yeah, Two
Wait.
Towers when they're busting into Isengard.
Oh, yeah. Because I was going to say they also have that wolf one that they get into in the
Oh man,
third,
Man,
third
that's
movie.
battering rams.
battering ring. Oh,
Battle of Helm's Deep.
Oh my gosh. Battering
No, it
ram.
has to be a link, though.
No, that's cap. We're never getting to a link.
I almost said, forget that. All right, we found it.
We did find it, but you don't.
Why does it have to be a link?
Because when you click on it, it says you made it.
Oh, well,
No,
can't win them all.
it says you made it.
Yes, that's the game. You're on a website.
Wait, 21's battering ram scene. Where's that? Okay, 21. Oh wait, but there's no links to those.
Yeah, it's
ABCD.
fake.
What are these?
It's just saying that it's on the DVD.
Wait, there's ABCD.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, this doesn't take me into stuff.
Special effects.
I'm surprised we got battering ram scene. I'll take it. That's a consolation win.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely made it, but I don't know why it's not in blue.
Not everything's in blue. The battering ram scene is not that important.
According to the game, we didn't necessarily win, but we did. We did win.
We did. It only took us 19 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I think that's a
Guess what's not making the final cut?
citation needed. Wait, I don't see where that is. Okay.
Citation needed.
Cut all the middle stuff out.
Get
Go
us
straight from anal
No.
glands to.
We're not okay.
All right, let's just do our.
We'll tell them.
We'll say, hey, if you're watching this part, the game went terribly.
No, it went good. We figured it out. We got there, sort of. All right.
Okay, so
All
we'll make a cut. All right, if you were watching this part, the game did not go very well.
Don't cut it. They can watch it.
It was like 19 minutes. We kind of won, but it was.
Oh, we won.
It was something.
We definitely saw the words battering ram on a Wikipedia page.
That's
it just
true.
was not in blue.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of other words too.
Yeah, we did.
We saw some other things. So,
Yes.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
You can join us next time for more Worldview Finder.
And Wikipedia Games.
We're playing this every week, man. I'm in. All right. We'll see you next time.